You need to start thinking just beyond the UI. The UX is a very important part, which is why using GPT to break down and ask questions and clarify things and even consider other alternatives or things that you yourself don't even know would know and will be able to extract for you. You should be able to ask smart questions so that you get the right information that you need. So let's go in and let me see this one share. Let's see if the audio works. Okay, so let's play. All right.
And I built a working app. Here's how. First, make sure your screen is set up to auto layout to help with responsive. Copy the frame link. Command L. Paste it in your browser. But swap the www for bolt.news/. Give it a minute and wow, it's coded. These shopping items can even be checked off right out of the box. But not these. Head to the chat and ask Bolt to fix that. It's coding. Perfect. But now we want to update the shopping list styling, and we only want the code to update for that section. So head to settings, turn on diffs, and prompt for the shopping list styling to match the original design. And while we're at it, let's make it where pressing add lets us add shopping items to the list. Now we need to make it where we can see old chores and assign new ones. We hit an error. No worries. Press attempt fix, and it's fixed. Now ask Bolt to add a dark mode toggle. Nice. And playing with this working prototype, it's insane how I've had this design in Figma for years.
So you guys can see that it was not perfect. It wasn't the perfect execution, but by telling the AI to fix this, fix that, it will end up fixing all that problem. But because this was like a quick 30-second video, typically when I see videos like this, I will go
I've
into
had this design in Figma for years, but I never
channel. I'll go into their main channel and then I'll usually subscribe. I've already subscribed to this guy a while ago. Watch the shorts. You go into the videos themselves and then you watch, see, advanced Figma prototyping. Everything I've basically spoken about, a lot of them are already here. So you guys can learn a lot of those things. Even if you missed it in class, you can come here and then learn from these guys. See design systems, which is a very huge deal, really. So again, like always look at the internet to find ways to learn things. There are a lot of things that you don't know. There are a lot of things that I myself don't know. But by going outside to keep learning and trying new things, that is the only way you are going to become a master at this thing. Because you should be the kind of person that you are anywhere and they say, oh, want to do this, and I'll be like, I've not done that before, but I'll take it on. You understand? You need to be that person, not the guy that they will say, okay, so who's willing to do something, and then everybody keeps quiet. You say you are quiet. You're trying to blend into the crowd. I don't like to blend into the crowd. It's better for me to stand out. Let me make mistakes. Laugh at me. I don't really care. But the mistake I make, I will learn a lot of things. And then they will see that I'm very proactive at almost anything I'm doing. So you guys need to be very proactive. Be a proactive learner. You understand? Self-improvement. I watch a lot of videos and stuff, so I'll always reference something. But the idea is this. What you are building by improving your skills is leverage. Most people would typically say, oh, somebody, so let's think about it this way. And I just want us to think of the economy of demand, supply, and everything. Most times, people exist, materials exist, there's an environment. We have, let's think of the oil industry. There was land. People discovered oil, right? Now, that same oil, some people will walk there and then drill out that oil. Somebody is at the top of that who doesn't know anything about drilling of oil, all the machinery, but somebody is hired to do that. Those guys have skills. Their skills is what they are selling physically. But in those types of industries, there's only so much growth, really. Or you just keep doing, just keep getting fatter and just getting more money, pretty much. Because it's an industry that pretty much there's nowhere else to go, except for maybe you're like a chemical engineer who's doing experiments and coming up with hypotheses on maybe new things that can come out of crude oil, maybe fine. But if you are somebody who's actually working on the rigs and drilling oil, it's pretty much a repetitive job, right? Now, the salary for that is high-paying salaries, but it will not really increase because it's pretty much just what it is. You now start learning skills of maybe like documentations, engineering, drawing. Then you now move to even an higher salary where you probably then sit down in an office. Some people will be out there doing the hard labor, but you're in the office, you are collecting AC. You are getting paid way more than those guys because you used to do that, but now you have learned other skills and now you have become better. That's really how I see things. You are building leverage to be able to say, I can do this, I can do that. I know my worth. So if somebody comes to you and says, okay, this is your first project and we want to pay you 70K for per month, you can tell them, like, no, I can't do that for 70K. And you explain why. And please, when you're having conversations about why this thing, don't tell them cost of living, economy. It has nothing to do. Don't even use that as like a base of your justification for why you deserve a higher salary. You have to talk about the number of man hours you have put into learning, number of man hours you have put into perfecting your skills. And then you throw them again. This is like a fun question you can throw during negotiations. You can throw something to them and say, okay, if you want to pay me 70K because you expect me to deliver maybe in 2 months or something like that, would you then pay me 30K if I deliver it in just 1 week? It makes no sense. That means you are punishing me for the level of skill, for the level of knowledge that I know. So that is not even that's not even equal on the economies of scale. So one of the things you can always do in your negotiations is very simple. Just tell them, if that's the offer, you want to make a counter offer that you will take that money only for 3 months. You will do the job for 3 months. The moment they are impressed, then they will give you the actual number that you want to earn. So you are betting on yourself that you can actually deliver wherever it is that you want. Basically, the idea is that you are saying you guys don't have money, but I know you have money, obviously. You guys just don't see enough value in product design. Working for people that don't see big value in product design is a big problem. But again, we all need money, we all need work. So at the end of the day, we have to still negotiate. So the point is this: you say you don't have money. I will take whatever it is you're offering, but it will be for 3 months. If I perform every single task, I deliver everything, and I even move way beyond the expectations and impress you, then instead of collecting that 70K, the maybe 300K or 400K that I'm negotiating for is going to be official, right? So therefore, you work for them 3 months, you deliver everything. If they're like people of their word, again, a lot of times people are not. I've been in situations where people have not been very forthcoming with their promises. If they are not, after that 3 months, you resign. But remember, the deal was you work for 3 months and then you get what you deserve. But then if they don't and then they keep whining you, just leave. There are other jobs. Trust me, because now you have experience working for somebody. In your next interview, when they ask you, why did you leave after 3 months? You tell them breach of contract. Simple. Breach of contract is because people have to respect you. If somebody disrespects you, it's not their fault, it's your fault. You are the one that allowed them to disrespect you. What kind of ways have you communicated? Have you been too friendly? Have you been too overly jovial with them and then they disrespected you? So even if you resign, right, as you are resigning, because there's a lot of projects that will already be on your hands that they want you to deliver soon. So you have a lot of leverage. In that 3 months, you become the go-to guy for everything design. So when you decide to resign, you are living with the things you are working on. Yes, the ones you've done belongs to them, but everything else you've not finished is your own. Go away with it. So therefore, they lose, and also you lost on a great deal because you could have gotten the money you wanted to get. But at the end of the day, it was way better for your peace of mind because, trust me, I've been in that situation. And let me just give you like the short gist of it. I left my first job and then I started working for someone who promised that, okay, yeah, will be paying me 100K every month. And I was like, okay, let's do this. I want to make sure after 6 months, then we start getting this. Like, yes, most definitely, like the company will be profitable. I'm like, boss, I believe in your government. And I took the job. I did the work. I was doing amazing stuff with Adobe XD. Then Figma was still trash. Figma was not even good at all. But Adobe XD, which is a little bit as one kind of crazy learning curve. I learned Adobe XD like my life depended on it. I was doing stuff in Photoshop, Illustrator. I was doing branding. I was doing photo edits. I was taking on for his partners in the company. I'll be taking on should I say, their graphic projects and their branding projects. Not for any extra money, just for the same 100K. Just to say, this 6 months, this guy will pay me this 500K. And then the 6 months came. And then I was like, boss, we need to have this review. We sat down. He was judging. Okay. Finally, we had to come, and then the guy just said, "Which certificates do I have to justify that?" I'm like, certificate was not even part of the deal. Which certificate do I have I gotten to justify the salary that I want to get? I paid for IBF, and then within 3 months or within 2 months, I got about 9, 10 different certificates from there. And then I went back, and then this guy was still like, we have so much that we're still doing right now. Then I should have known, but me, naive guy now, I was still interested in all the design that we're doing because we're building amazing stuff. And again, another thing to, I think one thing for you guys to know as well is any product you are building, try to fall in love with it. It's the moment you are in love with something you are building, that is when you can put overtime into it. When I first joined the company here in the UK, when I've working here for 2 months now, I wasn't totally invested in their product. And maybe it was partly because I was still one leg in with pay for me as well, because that was a product I built from the scratch to wherever it is now. And then I wasn't really in love with it. The more I started spending with the product, the more I spoke to the CEO. This guy is like a multi-millionaire, but this guy is such a very cool guy. I spoke to him, and I had an opportunity to talk to his mother as well. And they were talking about I don't know how these people do it. It's funny. I think white people are very friendly. But for some reason, his mom was there. Was like lunch. We're just chatting. And me, small designer from Nigeria, how did I get to this point where I'm chatting with somebody's mother? Who's kind of like, these guys are always on jets and flying from one country to the other almost every weekend to just have meetings and stuff. And here we are having conversation. And then I started understanding the motivation behind it, the story behind it. Then I went deeper into some of the testimonials. So any product you are building, whether it's a new thing, learn to fall in love with that product. It's a very important thing. Don't see it as just it's a job where I'm getting paid. See it as a job that I'm getting paid, yes. But if I do amazing stuff here, when this stuff hits my portfolio, the next job or even this same job can actually promote me to get me paid way higher than whatever it is I'm earning right now. I want you guys to always see it that way, as whatever you're doing now is just the stepping stone to the next place that you're going. A very important way to look at it. Fall in love with what you're building. You understand? Once you're in love with it, yesterday I did not sleep until 4 a.m. this morning, and I was having a time of my life. There was music playing. I had small fried plantain because me, I like fried plantain. So I was eating dodo, and then at the same time, I was just designing. And before I knew it, I realized I had finished all the tasks that I had set for next week. I'd already finished everything just within 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. So I know this week is going to be free for me. I'll just be chilling. I understand. It'll just be a lot of chilling and a lot of meetings with the guys, but it won't be any heavy design work because all the design work I had to do during the week, I've already finished everything. So I want you guys to approach things right from that perspective of I'm building this thing. Yes, I'm building it for the company, but also I'm building it for myself. I want you guys to think of it that way as well. So yeah. So today, basically, we're saying today was supposed to be for Figma developer handoff, which is very easy stuff. Annotations is the way forward. And I'll show you examples with my own. So let me share my entire screen this time. So it's developer handoff. Developer handoff can be done in a lot of ways. And one of the best ways to do it typically is to just have a design where everything is laid out. We even have like calendar design type stuff. Everything is laid out. The web version of the mobile version, everything is out there. You lay things out and then you section things. So here we call this the website shell. The website shell just means this is like the area where all the exploratory side of the website, the home page, the legal terms and conditions, pricing of the product, the about us, all of that kind of stuff, pricing, help center, maybe where you want to read articles or watch videos or tutorials about the product. This is what we call a website shell generally. So there's a section specifically for that. Every screen that belongs to that particular thing is located here. So when developers are working on things that are non-functional, but are more just informational components, like the shell of the website, they know that this is where they come to because it's already named that way. And then the shell will always have some. Whenever it's a small startup thing, this is the landing page. But I cannot launch a landing page when we have not launched a product yet. So therefore, you'd always have to have a wait list version, which is like coming soon. So any schools that are interested can start entering their emails and names so that when we launch, we can send them automatic emails and SMSs and even call them cold calling to have conversations with them and understand what they want to use the system for and then onboard them automatically. But also, apart from this, you then need to have a version where you are a few days away from launching as well. And then you have that version where people are getting early invitations as well. Little things like that. You always have to consider all of those different aspects of building products. But then beyond that, we now have the onboarding. And me, I like to just lay things out like this. See, all my components, every single component, they are here. Anything like this is for the attendance component. So this is what it looks like when you are present and when you are absent. It's red. But this is the inactive state of it. So one will be green, the other will be this, or one will be red, the other will be this, something like that. All the calendar elements, everything, all the customer, they know where the components are. Whenever they are looking for anything, even what I did was I walked my developers through the entire system. Because me, I have very highly nested components here. There are components that all of these guys are components. These are large, like page-like components. But within them, there are now other components inside as well. So I've already told my devs that in order to approach this particular, some parts, any part that has, what's it called, that has this purple field. Let me go to like this classes side. Yeah. So anything like this that has tabs, attendance, subject, grade, all of these things, anytime they see this, they should right click and just go to the main component. It will take them there. So you also have to do some kind of onboarding for your devs so that they know where things are. Because most of them will not go into you'll not press play to go and view and be clicking around. They will just want to be seeing the design and then be walking through the design. Also, another thing is your design should be arranged, right, in sequence. So this is the onboarding. Sign up. Onboarding just means sign up. So here, this is welcome. Get started with a 7-day free account. No credit card, debit card required for 7 days. We get the admin's first name, admin's surname, create a password. And these are the criteria that the password must meet. Now, next, once they get started, it takes them to the next page, which is just beside that first one. So the developers know how to move in sequence. So they're on the next one now. They have this. That is entered. Now, this is the state of this guy loading. You understand? Because I put everything in there for a dev to just see that the button will load. The page is not loading. It's the button that will load in this instance. And all of this will turn to gray. Then it comes here. We tell you to check your inbox. Once you check your inbox and click on the link, it signs you in. This time a page will now load on the side. And then the next thing is then we then tell you to start providing more information or the school name, claim the school handle, CAC register number, all of that stuff. Then we go in sequence. After that, we come back down here, which is the next page. Upload school logo, upload some things, and you move next. Okay, all of this is just forgot password stuff. So everything, and then we show you that this is what, after you've signed up, this is what that dashboard will look like. You are not going to be able to do much, but to just bring you in. Beyond that, what then happens? Then these are the modals that we are going to load up. Because apart from all the information you have given us, because again, and I want you guys to think about it this way. It would have been nice if this could have been done in just a one-pager. We collect all the information and then it takes us in. But the problem with loading one page with form fields that have over 7 form, like information that they want to collect, it's a big problem. Users get tired of stuff like that, and then they tend to churn. Churn, C-H-U-R-N. Churn pretty much just means they get sick of your product and leave. It's not even that they are deleting, they just don't come back. They leave and don't come back. That is what we call churn. So when you hear churn rate means the rate of people that typically use the product, but then, or people that started working with the product and then just left and never came back. This is one of the biggest things that your entire career is going to be based on fighting. You'll be looking for ways to reduce churn. And one of the best ways to reduce churn is to break things into steps. We collect very simple things. We welcome you in. Officially, you already have an account by the time you get here. Then we're asking you for more things. Oh, give us this about this. Let us even know about the school. And this progress bar will be telling you that you're almost done, you're almost done, you're almost done. To the point when you are then basically, you've already completed everything, right? And then we just bring you here to say, oh, then please wait while your dashboard is getting set up. Now, there's something we call the heuristics of usability, right? Usability heuristics. And let me give you guys an article to that. These are like 10 standards that your designs should always meet. Usability heuristics. I don't want to take you guys to all that long. Everybody has their own way of designing. That's why I always tell people. I love this explanation. So let me copy the link and let me put that on the WhatsApp group. So you guys should watch that video to explain exactly what I mean by usability heuristics. Now, in this design, and again, it's just basically my own knowledge and I'm applying it into what I'm doing. So this is a way of reassuring the users that something is happening. You don't just bring them and then the browser is loading. Let us load the minimal things that can load fast. But then all the main graphical things, we just use information to just undo that and say something is happening. Please wait. You understand? And then once that's ready, we just pop this off and then we get some information. Now, this industry that this product is being designed for is a very competitive industry. It's not very competitive. There are very few companies in there, but the few guys that are in there have very big ties with government, and they charge a lot of money for their stuff. So we are trying to build something for public schools, and the school in your village, your father's village, literally can sign up for this and use it. That's the way we are building it for. But want that premium feel. So therefore, one of the things you have to do again is to protect your IP. So when I say IP means intellectual property, but that is if you are building your own product. So for a product like this, you want people to get in and be able to do something, but until we verify that the person that signed up, because all this CAC information that they provided here, let me see, proof of address, let me see, there was a place here, yeah, the CAC registration number, those things that are provided, we have to verify that information before we can then approve the user. But while we are still waiting for that approval, we then collect more information as well. Oh, is it a primary school or secondary school? The logo you loaded in the beginning will just show up here. But if you want to change it, we allow you to change it. So you always have to think of all of those different things. We put your school name there. Is it a primary school? Is it a combination of daycare, kindergarten, primary school, secondary school? Is it every single thing? All those little things. And then academic institution. Okay, no, this is just the mobile version. So you can see for everything that has the web version, I'm showing the mobile version as well, which is very important to like the flow of anything. And then just collect all the information. And by the end of it, once they get verified, they just get to see what we now call the overview. And this is the overview of what that looks like. Well, let me just walk you guys through the prototype here anyway. So this is the overview. But this is for somebody who has already been using this system already. Because you can see some data is there. For a first timer, there's not going to be any kind of information, meaning everything is no data, because they've not loaded students' information, they've not loaded staff information. Everything is just empty. So you have to have the empty state of everything. So if things will have an empty state, you must design those empty versions. Then on the side, you can then have the ones that then show all the information, where you can then go in, click on stuff to see more data, graphs, filter through stuff and all of that. So pretty much this is what is required to be able to build something that, okay, in this page, oh, this is what it looks like. But then all of the things that these guys link to, like these view details now, this is what it's going to show me. And then there's a lot much more inside of this that we can still see. And then the mobile, she didn't complete the mobile version of that. Okay, no, I think this, okay, no, this is it. This is even it, yeah. All right, and then, the other one that links to the other thing, this view details, this is it. Everything is out there plainly so that they can see every single thing that needs to be seen can be viewed immediately. If you want to see the school event and schedules, maybe there's a town hall meeting, midterm test, whatever, everything can be seen by the admin as soon as they are creating those things. This is a much more complex system. This finance side, there's a reason why this one is green. It's because this is not part of the MVP. Because we have to do a lot of integration with banks, and I don't even want to do wala. So for now, we don't have any money. We first build something simple that we can manage, and then later we add other things on it. So this is how you should be laying your designs out. Section things and name each of those sections, then arrange things side by side in the sequence in which all of those things are supposed to link up. See, this is the student part as well. Same thing has been done here. Any little components that we are trying, maybe we're testing something out here. That's why we designed this. And then we then used it in mobile, because there's a problem. In mobile, tables are not the best things, they're not the most usable things in mobile. So we found a way to combine the name, the class, the gender, age, and then status, and then the 3 action items in just one card. So cards was a much better way to handle tables in mobile. Basically, experimentation and orishi. You guys, once you guys start designing, you get a hang of it. And you can see much more data visualization and all of that stuff. Everything arranged side by side. Anything that this page here is going to pop up, all of them are present in the section that belongs to that one. So you can have a section that has subsections. So you can have a bigger section that's all about students, but then a subsection for a particular page and its own mobile version. Then anything that maybe it links to or it pops up can then be within that section for it. What we did here, or what we did here most times. So this is pretty much how you arrange your file. Then we have a bunch of jagbajantis outside, all of our experimentation, just testing things out, seeing how things might work or might not work properly. This was a different type of card that we're trying as well for maybe subject or something. And then we combine it into the design as well. You can leave some of these things here, or you can usually create like a page called drafts, where you bring some of your draft elements, some experimental stuff. So again, it's one of those little things anyway. But yeah, so this is how you arrange your design. So I want you guys to put that into consideration for this your project. The sign up part, put it in its own section, name it properly, and arrange them side by side. When it now gets to after getting into the dashboard, if you are designing something in e-commerce, the profile section of the entire project, put it in have a section for it. Everything profile related should all be in there. Very similar to the project I told you guys that I took on. And see, onboarding, everything onboarding is here. Identity verification, everything has its own section. Home page, all the different versions of the home page. Maybe you've not verified yet, it's here. After you've verified and then you've done something, it's here. After you've verified and then you've taken a loan and you are paying back little by little. So all of those things, you understand, you have to have sections. This one allows people to contribute. So the flow of contributions is all on this side. Taking a loan, the flow of taking a loan is being worked on this side. Understand? Anything profile related, all these icons are not there yet, but you will see, even though the icons are not there, everything has been linked. So as you are designing, be linking things so that you know how to arrange them side by side. But yeah, you can see this kind of like the simplest way. This is like the easiest way to just arrange. Understand? Anybody that comes into your file will understand everything that they are looking at. They know where to find what, because even zoomed out, you can easily know, oh, profile things are here. Just zoom into that area where profile things are. And the developer will just be looking at designs and replicating the same thing in code. If the person is focusing on loans, they know where to go to get loans by the loan section. Very simple stuff. And then components, all of them, they're all at the top here. Yeah, that's like the beauty of being able to arrange your files. On the other side of it is something called annotations. Annotation pretty much just means you're adding notes and context to certain things. And if you see, I was just writing notes. So hamburger menus are a thing of the past, because currently on their app, it's hamburger menus. For a very big company like that, it's hamburger menus that they have on the app. The idea is for us to then improve it. Now, one of the main reasons they had me was to come and redesign the app. That was the first thing I started working on anyway when I got in there. So I started making a lot of notes. I was observing things, hamburger menus, and it's very long like this. So I have to simplify and say, what are the ideas And one thing I noticed about them is they like to work in little bits. So we add small changes. So I was like, best case scenario, these are the best case scenario. I have the cart here and I have the notifications here. Very simple. We can have a 5 icon, 5 action navigation, 4 action or 3 action. So this best case, this is where I'm working towards at the end. But I was like, okay, then we start small. We can keep the hamburger menu, but we add this. And then we have a 5 action navigation. Or we don't have notification, because then I realized that, okay, they don't have notification yet, even in the app. There's no notification center. So therefore, since this might be something we might work towards later, no wala, hamburger menu will be there, but I'll take some things out of the hamburger menu, the things that people need to see in front of their face to go and then take action. And then I'll put them down here. You just work with different versions and then you just look at ways where, which one they will approve, really. You understand? That's typically what the job really is. So annotation is a very good thing in there. I was like, legal overload. There's too much, all of this legal accordion. Why does it have to be on the app? On most apps, it's not within the app. It's loaded in like a web thing. Can go to the website and read about the legal stuff, or even click on legal, and then it opens your browser and takes you there. So that's what some of my notes are all about. Understand? And then obviously components and icons I created for that, and yeah, also redesign of the homepage. As I'm designing, I'm putting different options next to them. I'll bring the exact original that they have right now. I'll put it on the side. Then I'll start working on something and start thinking around, can we do dynamic messaging? And that was the idea, dynamic messaging. So every annotation I have here was, if a user is logged in but has no entries, we should write in a way that convinces them to buy entries. And then we give them a bonus. This is thinking outside of the box. And I love this way of working. Instead of working on full features, I like being able to focus on one thing, finish that one thing, flesh it. And one thing I notice is also here is they like to measure the impact of everything. So like this menu introduction now that I want to do, this within the first few weeks, they will now start measuring, compared to the last month, how many people are now visiting the draws page? Do we have an increase or a reduction in people visiting these main pages here? If it increases, that means it's a good thing, then we keep it. If it has reduced, then that means we need to rework or maybe bring something else here. Obviously, it increased. When we did this, it actually increased. So again, little things like that. And I was like, okay, the hamburger menu. Also, this was like a rework of the hamburger menu. Thinking, let me just shorten it and keep some things here. If you tap on legal and privacy, take me to the website. I don't want to be seeing it here. About the company should not be in the app. Take me to the website. But anything that needs to be in the app, because the main point of the app is we want you to buy entries and make purchases. You understand? That's the point. So that is my own focus generally. So it's strategic thinking. But as you are thinking about it, always make sure you have notes. All of this type of boxes that just auto layout. Just do it like how Figma does it and just put it here. Understand? And then I consider a lot of scenarios. You understand? So see, this is like a scenario for something that is running, but I want to allow people to enter for flash draw, blah, blah, blah. How do I present that? It can pretty much be the same exact layout, but copy. And then the way your call to action, like what your button is saying, can be very different. And then I have different versions of it as well. Versions where is already, the draw is closing, it is still very well active. But then if they don't want to go too crazy and implement the final version, you can still work with what they have, but I'll take a lot of the elements of what I'm doing and then bring it into already what they are doing. Very simple approaches like that can really move the needle a lot, especially in a place where everything is data driven. The smallest amount of things, anything that is done is measured, whether it's increased or whether it reduced, and then you either keep it or you go back and then you come up with new ideas, basically. So annotations is a very good way to do that. See here, we're having conversations. Someone said, oh, not a big fan of this color combination, part of our brand book, because they don't have a design system. So now I have to build a design system. And it's good. I like working anyway, so I'm not complaining. Right then I had to come back and then fix the color. And then it was like, oh yeah, they like this color and now it works perfectly. So a lot of this kind of thing, being able to annotate is a very important thing. Being able to annotate and hand things over to developers, you understand? So this was the final, this thing is just a section. This is the test we want to do. This is what you guys currently have. That one is fine. All we are changing is just adding this. That's pretty, and this is what this looks like when it's home, and then when it's winners, when it's accounts, and there's a note for them, the people that will be implementing it. These are the various states of so. You will notice that there's no back button at the top. Understand? There's a reason why there's no back button, because these are main pages, so there should be no back button there. But I also mentioned as well that even when they are buying stuff as well, we should not have this navigation so that it doesn't distract them to stop buying and go back home. We need to keep them focused on making the purchase. It's UX, you understand? Business goals are very important. So every single thing you're handing over to your developers, put instructions. This should pop up when user tries to log out. They did not have this before. So now we have this. So small things like that, you annotate. Then you describe, oh, these are enable this thing. This is what it should say when after a user's first entry purchase. When is at the end of a draw closing, in different situations, you have to consider. Again, you guys are just starting out, so all of these things might be a little bit jagbajantis to you guys, but still, it's worth understanding that some of these things are very important. You need to be able to understand that being able to annotate reduces the number of times that they will come to you and then they'll be asking you questions directly. Time that you can be spending working on other projects, you are spending it maybe joining meetings to be explaining something that you could have easily just made a sticky note for and just annotated and explained it there. You understand? So this is pretty much developer handoff stuff. This is pretty much what developer handoff stuff is. So back to the last question I think someone asked yesterday, which was around exporting your designs for animation later to put it to like animated stuff and whatever. Now, when it comes to stuff like that, what you typically want to do is say, okay, I want to record my screen. So this is this. Now, if I'm going to record this, I don't want this phone frame to be there. I don't want the phone frame to be there at all. So one of the things I want to do is I'll come back to my settings and I'll just say no device. I'll come back here. I'll just see it as a box. Simple. So now for me to record, I've forgotten what Mac's recording shortcut is. Let me check first. I can't remember. MacBook screen recording shortcuts. Shift Command 5. Okay. We open the screenshot app, provides capture. So let's try first. Let's see. So Command Shift 5. Okay, good. So to allow me to target a specific area. Mhm. Now for Windows, there are like other tools. I think there's like a Windows screen recorder too. So you can use that as well. So this is the area I want to record. I'll just say capture. I rather wait to no wait I want to hear while I want to record. I'm not trying to take a picture. Okay, let me try again. Just go 5. Oh, okay, I have to select this. Okay, record selected portion. Yeah, record. So now the recording has started. And then I'll click next. So all of this is being recorded. Next. Yes, that. Log in securely. Bugwe. And then we have history. We go back and then you just navigate through the entire app. Let's say 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just clicking through stuff and you test stuff. You click, something pops up. Yes, it looks good. Animations. Do all the KYC stuff, which seems very boring, but financial apps, that's like the best you can really do. And then you continue. And then you are done pretty much. So let's say that's what that is. Now that I'm done recording, all I'm just going to do is, how do I stop recording? Okay, it's just at the top there. So the recording is done. So let's see. See the entire recording, my mouse. The problem is it's a mouse. That's the problem. So it's going to be, it's just showing as a mouse. If it was, what's it called? If it was in a device using that circular motion thing. So maybe when you want to do your own, let's try. Let's go back again. Let's set a device for the iPhone 13 mini. Let's come back in. And see, maybe instead, what you just do is, let me try that thing again. So this time I'm going to reduce it and I'll try to focus on just a smaller area, but on the screen itself, so that it doesn't record the case of the phone. This stuff is so annoying. Can you move away? Okay, good. You can move to the side better. But then, yeah, I think this is a much better one. Then you can record. So you can say, I want to now record. Better. So this circular stuff is a much better way. And then I can navigate all around the entire thing, next, and all of that stuff. And then it still records very nicely. And then, yeah, pay, and then close, which is very nice. So I'll just stop recording. And then if I check this one, nice. That's like nice. So let's see, I can edit it and just shave up that part that was showing the mouse thing. And then once I get that, I'll stop it there. Just go back here to shave the end a little bit. And done. And then that recording is already saved. So let me go to my desktop. They call them movies, this thing. So I think, is this the new one? Let's see. Okay, no, this is the one I just added. Let me play. Yeah, good. So all I'll just have to just do is go to Canva right next and canva.com. You guys should also learn how to use Canva as well. Canva is very nice. Anyway, so all I'll just do is just come in and I'll just say templates. It's on the sidebar here, templates. I'll just search for iPhone mockup. So all I can easily just do is find some video templates. So you scroll down until you start finding some video templates. Not really. These are not very great templates, but let me see this. This one is only the text that is animating, but the phone is static. You can use this if you want to. Your video too will just be loaded there. Let's see. I want something that's animated. Aha, this is nice. But again, your video will not really last long. So maybe this should be done with a picture type thing. So screenshots of your designs will just be put in there, then to be sliding around. You could put your screen in there too. It's fine. You could put multiple videos here too, and then different things will be playing at the same time. But I have to search. Okay, let's filter properly. Filter. Just say video. Let's go video. Just even apply first. Okay. All right. Nope. These are very static stuff. Okay. Nah, this one, I like this too. It's not really exactly what we are looking for. So you might be able to find this. No, not really. I say there are not a lot of impressive, should I say, templates out there. You understand? But there are some. So you just have to search and scour through here properly to find the one that would work for you. Scroll the way down. I'm just going through the templates, trying to find something nice. Not really. Let me never just say mockup. That might be too. Okay, maybe not bad. Like at least this does its thing on top. Let's go. Somebody's hand with the phone. Not bad, but the hand no they match up, sha. The hand no they match the thing. It might look a little bit too fake, you get. But yeah, let's. Me, I'm a very curious person by nature, and whenever I'm looking for something, if it doesn't match the imagination in my head, then it's not exactly what like. I will never settle for something that at least doesn't somehow match what I'm looking for. Let me see. No. Okay. Not bad. A vibration. It's curious. I'm curious about it. I'm going to be curious about it, but anyway, when it comes to video, there's only so much you can really do. I think that one I was curious about. I think I'll check that out. Where is it? I can't remember. Ooh, this I like this. I like this. So let's check this out. Just open in a new tab, customize the template, and this is pretty much it. All I need is my video. Okay, I'll just go to uploads, videos, and then upload files. And then I'll go to my recents. I think this one the most recent. No, this is the first one. This is the one we want. So open. It's going to load up that. I like this, their water style uploader, right? Tells you when it's done. Or just grab it. Just grab it and just place it on the screen to replace it. And then the video will start playing on its own and all of that serene. But then here as well, you probably need music with it. Right. And then to export it, like again, like I know the thing is this stuff, they have like timelines of, let me see. There's like a timeline thing. Because there's like an edit mode. Let me see. I can't remember. Because this Canva, the thing about Canva is once you leave Canva, you can forget a lot of things. Because I think there are a lot of pages in this stuff. Yeah, there are a lot of pages there. So this, but there's a timeline thing. Can't remember where that control was. Nah, I remember. Editing mode. Yeah, we're in edit mode. Design. Typically, there's like an editor at the bottom sometimes that you can activate. I don't know where to activate that. Again, that's a big problem for anybody who's trying to use this thing. Normally, it's supposed to be so easy to find those things. So maybe they need to do a better job. But again, maybe they give me one. But see all the pages that they have. Because all of these pages will still animate into it. You understand? And one of the things you want to make sure you do is make sure that those things don't happen. And again, you can cut your videos up into small pieces. So I could look at this and cut the video. So see the editor, there's an editor. This is not the main editor, but there's an editor here. You can show one feature, name it here, put an image of that feature there, then bring that same video, crop it and only show a part of the second part, and then another part, and then another part. So all of them will be flipping in based on that timeline, and then you can reduce it. Because I think one thing I know for sure is if I reduce this, let me take this down and just keep it very short. If I play it, the other ones will come. So the length of my video determined how long this guy lasted and then the next guy came in. So you just have to just use the same, maybe you can record the entire thing, but then put the video in all the screens everywhere, but then show one feature each, modify the text and the image here to match that feature, do the name and only show another part of the video. And then all of them will just be flipping in at different times. And when you are ready to export as a video, just go to download MP4. You can even just make it a GIF instead. So GIFs are very light, you understand? There's a reason why I prefer GIF. If it's a GIF, I can easily just put it on my portfolio website and it will be playing automatically. Like what you're on my website, it will just be playing automatically. You don't need to press play. But if it's a video, then on a website, somebody needs to push the play button. And I don't want people to be having to go and be clicking buttons. So it's better for the video to just be playing itself and just so a GIF will be better in that scenario. If you want to put it on Instagram, then an MP4 is probably better. So you export as MP4 and then you just download it. And then it saves the audio and everything for you. So I think that's how you can get some animated type videos. There are a lot of other templates. I'm very sure there are a lot of dope ass templates here. Just that the results that I'm seeing so far are not too impressive. See, this is not bad. I could use this as well for something else. Just to explore the templates that they have, except you want to learn what's it called? You want to learn Canva properly and then be able to create your own template. But if it's to use the existing template, I'm very good. As I told you guys, I'm a professional thief. I know how to take things and just manipulate it to my own advantage to do whatever I want it to do.